Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and attach my waistband pieces together. So we have one back, and I'm looking my front and back. Okay, so this is my right side. So my right side will face up. This is my right side, right? So I'll face that up. So, well, actually the right sides are facing each other, not facing up. Okay, there we go. Okay. And that'll be for our waistband. Okay, I'm now going to sew my side seams together of my waistband. Same thing we did everywhere else. Okay, we have this here, and then we have our elastic. Now, the elastic, you don't have to cut it the exact amount that's in the book. Those are really, in the pattern, those are really just your guide. If you're using the if you're using the 1 inch elastic, you are going to probably subtract about 1 inch from the measurement that's on there, and if you're using 3/4, you're going to add about 1 inch. But it's not absolutely necessary. Your pattern is really indicated by, your elastic's indicated by your pattern. So I'm just going to line this up to the center. So this one I've made a little bit longer than I actually need, because I prefer to have a little extra. And then I'm going to just fold it in half and pin it together, starting at my seams, making sure that the elastic's all the way through. So I kind of get that in there. Then pin this side, lining up my edges. I think I've got a couple dull pins here. And so we don't want to pull the elastic. We really just want to sit it in there. Just fold it in half. When we end up sewing the waistband on, it could cause a little bit of stretching, so it's important that we actually have it pinned well. I'm just going to put a pin over here. Now, can somebody grab my scissors? I'm actually going to take and trim the elastic down right now, about to where this edge is, on both ends.
Why, Mama? Are those going to be in the scrap pile?
These? Yeah, you can have those pieces of plastic for your scrap. Okay, and then I'm going to take these 2 points. Actually, let me fold it. Huh? So I'm going to overlap them right here where I've got that V shape where it's coming down. I'm going to pin that together right there. And then I'm going to fold the one side, basically kind of line that edge. on this side. And this is giving you that overlapped edge for the waistband. So we've got it overlapped, and before we can sew this into the sports bra, we actually need to use a straight stitch and tack it down here and here, so when we're sewing it on the overlock, these don't come off. And we're going to sew a tiny little V here so we can line that up with the center of the sports bra. Okay, so I've already pinned my waistband like this, and what I want to do is I want to do just kind of stabilizing stitch right here. So when I sew it with the overlock, that this doesn't get pulled over and it moves out of place. I'm going to do like a little V stitch right in here in the seam allowance, and then also at this end, just to hold it in place. So, oops, and see, it already moved on me. Shouldn't have taken my pin out so fast. Okay, there we go. So it definitely will move things, and actually I didn't sew the elastic, so just a little bit more. Okay, then I'm going to do a little V-stitch right where the two overlap. It's like probably like maybe 1/2 inch on each side, really just to hold it. And then back here at this side. Okay, now we're ready to attach this to the waistband and finish the sports bra. Okay, so I've got everything prepped. I have this pinned. The next thing we need to do is we actually need to pin our waistlines together, just in several places. Double check on which side your seam allowance needs to be based on what you sewed up here for your body. I'll probably go and afterwards and iron this, but I went ahead and I pinned those pieces together. Check your side seam and things. Your lining and stuff may have moved, so you want to make sure you have it nice and straight. So my lining is a little bit longer, probably just because how I sewed it. So I'll be able to trim off a little bit there. So pulling it down. And really, it's just kind of at the seams where you really need to pay attention. Okay. Once you basically have your center front, your panels pinned, then we can go ahead and start pinning this. So I'm going to flip this over for right sides together. And I'm going to start pinning at my side seam. So I want to make sure that this seam line and that seam line line up. And come over to this side, do the same thing. Make sure the seam lines match. Ow, just stabbed myself. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pin starting here at the center. Trying to find right where they line up. And then I want to just look to see how the ease is. It should be about equal on both sides. Bringing this over. I think I need to get some sharper pins. So as you're doing this, make sure your elastic's pretty much right at the fold, so the elastic's not in here too much. Okay. This little point could be a little bit tricky, so you could go in and basically do what we did on this with that little triangle. So you could actually stitch that with your straight stitch machine to get that triangle in there. I don't think I'm going to need to. If I need to do it afterwards to clean it up, I can. Okay, we'll go ahead and we're ready to start sewing. Okay, I'm actually going to start sewing right here where the V is, because we do have that angle in there. So get my thread in there, and hopefully my needles won't break. I actually have too small of a gauge on it. Now we can cut off our 3/8 of an inch, or actually 1/8 of an inch, since our seam allowance is 3/8. And we really should, because we have so many layers in here, that we, in case something is not lining up perfectly, everything should be caught. So. So just take your time. And you'll see why it's really important to have this point up here stitched, because when we get to this point, it's going to want to push that fabric off of the stitch. So make sure everything is lined up over here. So I'm ready to So when I started the stitch, I didn't get it right, perfect at that V. So I can actually go back and get just a little bit closer right here at the beginning. So I get that stitch, and if for some reason my next stitch comes in and that stitch is still showing, you can just go ahead and seam rip that. But I usually have a hard time getting that the first time. Okay, it looks good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in, I'm going to manually pick those stitches out. But this is it. This is the Christina sports bra finished, from start to finish.